entertainment purposes only. You'd be an idiot to listen to anything these degenerates say. Invest at your own risk, do research, but seriously don't listen to these ass clowns. Now enjoy Cash Daddies.
Welcome to Cash Daddies. We're banking fatties. Joining me as always from his tool shed, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny, Johnny Woodard, and then enjoying. Apparently he goes into playoff mode and only watches playoff games from a log cabin deep in the forest. Please welcome Howie, Dewey, bum, 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 bum,
yes,
bum.
sir.
Howie, are you? I mean, New York City must be a buzz.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. It's the whole Philly series was just I think I had 10 strokes. We got by it. One last night. My girl went to the game last night again. She leaves for Spain tomorrow, and if we get by the Pacers, we have tickets for games 3 and 4 of the Eastern Finals if we get there. So that'll probably be the Celtics, but who knows, man? Who knows? I'm enjoying the ride. That's the best Knicks team we've had in 30 years?
My favorite thing is they just keep saying that Jalen Bronson can't be that guy.
That's
like no, he can't, dude. You can't. I mean, dude, it's so funny. They had Becky Hammond on for like literally 2 seconds, and then everyone's like, oh, she's a cunt. Okay, let's get her off television. Imagine if you were an NBA player and you got that yelling at you,
dude. Did you see the Knicks fans?
Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
She used to be so hot
outside the Garden. They started with, and Knicks fans are insane. Like, I'm proud to be a Knicks fan, but I mean, did you see the video where that guy's like, fucking Knicks? He goes, if I had a sister, I'd let Brunson Hart pull a train on her. Yeah. And I mean, Knicks fans are nuts. And they started to chant, fuck you, Becky. It was funny. All of a sudden, you get the degenerate Knicks fans. Gang bang Becky. And I mean, it's a bizarre time in New York because it's the first time in 30 years, we're legit, and we love this team because the team is definitely not the most talented team, but I've never seen a team play harder. Loose balls, defense, offensive rebounds. This team just makes it up. I mean, I love this team.
Yeah, Thibodeau, man, he just brings that, right? Like
Thibodeau's a maniac,
yeah.
and he fits perfect with degenerates like Jason Hart, who I've never seen that guy. He'll turn the ball over 5 times a game, but he'll get 15 rebounds. He's 6'3". They list him at 6'4". He's 6'3". I've never seen a guy with a motor like that in my life. He does not stop sprinting. He just out hustles and out beats you. I love that kid, man. But
yeah, I mean, dude, he's legit, man. And this is a good team. Now, now everybody's talking about the Knicks need to get one more guy. And there's some talk either about Paul George or Kevin Durant. I don't know how the Suns are going to get rid of Kevin Durant. They're talking about getting rid of fucking Devin Booker. Like, Devin, stay the fuck in Phoenix, okay? Yeah, good runs, dude. And it's a great city to live in. You're the king of fucking the desert. Like, where are you going to go, dude? Like, not everywhere is Miami and not everywhere is, I mean, maybe he wants to go to LA and the Lakers. That's it. But they're never going to trade you within your division.
I'm just happy that all these guys like Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo from Golden State, Hartenstein coming from the G League and whatever. These cats were low-level bench players, and they're going to make 100 times more than they would because they're on billboards in New York City.
Yeah.
And when you're in New York City and you make a billboard, your life changes, man. Whatever your contract is, multiply that by 10 or 20 because you're doing commercials. These cats are making money now. They're making bank.
Yeah, the biggest thing the Knicks need to do is get a training facility. That seems to be their biggest problem. That like
Westchester. It's a nice one, but it's a little bit north.
Yeah, and they need to get something in the city. That's what they got to do, and then they'll just dominate that shit. But it's good to see. The league's better when the Knicks are good. The leagues are better also, when there's certain teams crushing it. And we'll see, dude. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna
So
be interesting, dude. It's going to be an interesting next couple, like both these series. I mean, everyone had Jokic in the Joker into the finals, and like, dude, he lost both games at home. That is the most insane shit I've ever seen. Anyways, it's like, whew,
Welcome to Punch Drunks.
yeah, we'll move on to finance right now. But I got to admit, I got a little bit of a boner over the past 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the second boner, and that's we've been banking fatties, man. This is like the 6th week in a row that we've made major gains. Last week we everybody made 50% plus on the Pfizer calls, because that thing went from 25 to near 28. And we were all in on calls on it, a lot of them. We made, what else did we bank on last week? Jesus. Shit. How about this, Sam? We bought Disney calls. I sold them yesterday for about a 37% gain, and that stock was down 10 points this morning. Which you can't time that any better. Was there a little luck involved? 100%. But it goes back to my philosophy. I'm not especially in options, you can't just sit and hold something. When you get up 20, 30, 40%, you got to sell and get out. You got to bank it. And that's what we did on Disney. Disney went from 120, now it's back down to what, like 110?
Yeah, they had bad
No,
streaming numbers, right?
it's 104. Well, everything on the earnings conference, and I listened to it. Iger and the CFO, Hugh Johnston, who's in charge of Disney parks, they're turning this company around, man. I mean, shit, the loss they had last year, like 114 million. I think it was like minus 20 million this quarter. They're turning shit around quickly. They had weak subscriber growth, but it's still better than it has been.
Not ESPN Plus, so
No,
that's what killed them is
but they
ESPN
know
Plus.
that. They know that. They hate it. He's trying like hell we keep saying that on here. He would love to sell ESPN. But
Here's the stat. Can I just read it? Disney Plus and Hulu reported a combined profit in the quarter for the first time ever. But when combined with ESPN Plus, they lost 18 million in the quarter.
yeah, but 18 million is pennies compared to
but ESPN, the thing that they were doing, they're happy about it. And then you combine ESPN and there's just like, bleh, shit the bed.
Well, with that being said, here's the deal. The stock went down to 105, 104 today. I put a thing out this morning. I'm going all in at around 100, 101, maybe 102, because every major firm on Wall Street came out this morning, and man, they're reading between the numbers. They're looking at the next 2 to 5 years. Disney's a stock you got to own because they're changing a lot of shit. They're cutting costs. Park revenues are starting to go up again. There's a lot of positive stuff with what these old crusty bastards came in and did. So, and it doesn't happen overnight with a company that big, $1 trillion company. It just doesn't. It takes forever. So I think they're heading the right direction. Unlike Paramount, holy shit. You see Paramount, what's going on at Paramount is just absolutely insane. They fired Bob Bakish last week. We talked about it. Now they have 3 CEOs. None of them know their dicks from their ass. Skyline or whatever dropped out of the buying. They don't want to buy the company. So now it looks like Sony. It looks like Sony is probably going to acquire them. But with that being said, look, when Warren Buffett, who had a large stake in Paramount, and he was down, I want to say his cost on this company was like 20, 23.
Yeah, huge loss.
He lost his ass and admitted it. And he said, I don't give a shit. I am selling every bit of this piece of shit company. I'm gone. So I can't go back and buy it. When the big daddy gets out, it's for a reason. Now, he had his Berkshire Hathaway conference, yesterday, the day before? And he caught his positions in a lot of good companies. NVIDIA, it's up to like 970 or 913. He caught a big position in it. Apple, he caught a big position in it. So you got to watch these big tech stocks now, man. They're due to drop, especially when the wizard comes out and he sells positions. you got to watch it, man. Berkshire Hathaway, they're usually not wrong. I'm just going to say that.
Backus must have loved that too, right? To see that happen right after he's gone, just like, oh, fuck you guys.
Well, come to find out, the employees at Paramount, they love Backus. Backus was trying to save them. He was trying to come up with ways to keep employees' jobs. They got into streaming so late. Sherry Redstone, the daughter of Summer Redstone, is a fucking nightmare. She is a nightmare. She knows nothing about running a business. Nothing. The company has so much debt. She's just trying to get anyone to come in and buy it out. But whoever buys it out, it's not going to be good for shareholders at Paramount. It's going to suck. So that's just a shit show. It's something to sit back and watch. But no, anyway, we had an unbelievable week last week. Shit, the last 6 weeks. Did you get any of that action, Johnny?
Yeah, I got in on a couple. I am still I'm up big. Yeah. But I can't. There's one I'm still waiting to sell. I kind of slept on, and I still got to get out
IBM's
of.
up a little bit.
I can't remember what it is though.
June on it, so I think we're all up like 8-10%, and I'm waiting. I still think it can go higher, this particular company, because, like I said, I feel like institutional investors will jump on. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on the next few days. Look, we got earnings after the bell on one of my favorite oil companies, Occidental. It's at 65. I may buy some calls on it today because it looks like it's oil's taken a beat in the last month, but it looks like it's steady and it's headed back up, so that's one I may buy some calls on. Oh shit, we banked the hell out of Uber. We crushed Uber last week. We made like 40% plus on Uber calls. And it was dropping below 60, 70. We're buying it, selling at 72, the calls. So we did really well on Uber. Still love that one long term. But yeah, there's right now a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of opportunities. So
yeah, and one thing that's a little concerning for me is that people seem to have forgotten all the fuckery Robinhood did around the time of the meme trading. Because if I'm sorry.
Go on.
Well, the news is that they are set to report their highest quarterly revenue since the meme stock frenzy. They're having a great time right now, which just I really thought, dude, that would be the end for them after they fuck so many people by freezing sales on those meme stocks, and they're just right back to where they were. It seems like, which
it's so crazy to me.
Drag.
I just saw 2 commercials right in a row. One was for Robinhood, and then the next one was for Wells Fargo, and it's just like, dude, you could not have 2 companies who fuck their customers more than those, and they're just like, let's just do a cool ad with some biracial, bisexual people, and no one will remember.
Yeah.
Make a good point, man. I mean, look, but here's the thing. Robinhood reminds me of E-Trade and Ameritrade in the 90s and early 2000s. These were 2 companies that came out and said, why use a big broker when you can trade here for $10 a trade, $15 a trade? And, when we were working for the big guys, we were like, you don't want to work for them. They don't have good information, this and that. But underneath, we were like, fuck, we can't compete with those prices. So what happened to those 2 companies? They got bought out. Morgan Stanley bought one of them. I can't remember who bought Ameritrade. But they got bought out. Robinhood, the reason they do well, and I notice this with a lot of the Patreon members, you have a lot of kids, including my sons, between 18 and say 30. And, they're not really stock market savvy yet, but they want to get involved. They know there's fatties to be banked. So what do? They go out and they open up an account with Webull or Robinhood because it's cheap. It's easy. It's very simple to trade on there, and I don't blame them. I mean, you buy stocks on there, you're insured up to 250,000. So, you're a young kid out of college, starting a new job, want to invest. It's probably not such a bad thing if you can get some good advice on the side. And I think that's why they do well. I think it's more of a volume thing. They do a lot of
but
volume.
aren't the people that they do well with the kinds of people that they fucked so hard? I mean, I just don't.
Well,
I guess convenience just really is the winner, huh?
that's why. Yeah, you're right, Johnny. It's convenience. It's convenience. It's, young people,
Everything's convenience, dude.
they can open up a nice, cheap account, and if they have somebody like us to kind of steer them in the right direction, it's a win-win. I would say you get your account up to 50 grand or more, then you probably want to move it, and you can transfer. It's very easy to a Charlie Schwab, to, someone else where you might get a few more bells and whistles. That's all I would say. So, but hey, we got guys on the Patreon that use Robinhood, and they're banking fatties with some of the calls we make. So I don't give a shit what they use.
Until they pause trading for to benefit some big client again.
Yeah. Well, I think Robinhood, it's a matter of time. They're going to get bought out. They are going to get bought out.
And what does that look like? What do they just get rolled into another big name or something, a bank or something like that?
Yeah, they'll get, but they're going to get bought out by a Charlie Schwab, a Bank of America, a Morgan Stanley. It's going to happen. There's no doubt. I don't know when. The stock's trading. Robinhood's trading right now at $280 a share. And it was as high as 388. It's at 280. So, let's put a hypothetical out there. Let's say Bank of America comes out next week and says we're purchasing Robinhood for $3 billion. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You will see the price of Robinhood sky. That thing will go from 280 to probably 380 in a day. So at some point, I do think they will get bought out. The stock's not great. It's not managed well. Shit, they missed their earnings, which is 5 weeks ago, which is why they dropped. But they'll get bought out because they got enough customers, got a lot of clients.
All right. Let's see.
Crazy
What else do we have?
times.
Did you see that the IRS is doubling down on audits of its wealthiest of the country's wealthiest? They're going to more than double their audit rate of wealthy taxpayers over the next year. It sounds like the IRS is planning to ramp up its audit rate of wealthy Americans and large corporations, part of a sweeping effort to crack down on tax cheats. I love that. Tax cheats.
Oh yeah, and I love that people like that. Come on, bro. We got to figure out how to get these tax cheats to fucking be held accountable. You're like, we should be cheering them on. Go. I mean, dude, when people get mad at like Amazon not paying taxes, I'm like, you should not get mad at Amazon not paying taxes. You should be asking Amazon, how can you not pay taxes?
Yeah.
That's how it's going, dude. Like, how can I not do that? Please let me know.
It seems like it's a lot easier for the big guys to skate.
Well, they've got the
Of course.
attorneys, man. It's all it's all that law game, man. That's the big thing. If you can afford to throw attorneys at it, just throw attorneys at any problem in this country, and it can work.
And we'll take care of this in 3 years. Yeah,
and it'll be some kind of, they'll all shake hands and they'll get a slap on the wrist, but nothing ever happens. If it happens to somebody farther down the food chain, though, you're totally fucked.
Yeah,
the government treats you the exact same way.
You get a guy that owns a metal shop or a fucking garbage dump. And,
that looks like it's making a lot of money. That's the problem with this, but actually they're spending all of it. It all goes right back into the business, and then they just get totally screwed. That's the worst.
Boxes. Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, it does a lot of cash. A lot of businesses do a lot of cash, so they come in and just turn over your books, and it's awful.
Absolutely.
It's awful. Did you see FAA's got a new investigation into Boeing after the company may have missed
I love that. Well, we're gonna look into
787 inspections.
We're gonna investigate right now. We're totally gonna investigate one of the 7 companies that completely run our government, but we're gonna look into it. Let's, like when the FBI is like, we've investigated the FBI and we found nothing.
Yeah.
We found nothing. I mean, it's
totally,
absolutely ridiculous.
Boeing in the last week has gone from 168 back up to 177. Actually, it was at
that tells you everything. Yeah.
May 6th, it was 183. I mean, it's headed back up. I sold some of it as a loss 2 weeks ago, but What's the deal with Boeing? I would say Boeing's probably won in 3 months. It'll be above 200.
You
It's
think so? Oh wow.
it's not going anywhere. They got a new CEO. He's putting nice frosting on the cake, telling
Yeah, he
everybody,
said the right things, hasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
he says the right things. It's a $1 trillion company, man.
This is part of them just getting kind of rehabbed, huh? Is that what you think? The investigation, and then the FAA comes out and says, we've seen a real change at Boeing. They've
They
corrected the
hired a bunch of
issues.
mechanics. They're
Yeah.
really tightening those fucking bolts.
We're pleased to see how seriously they're taking these issues.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's just, do you have any faith in any of these institutions at all?
No, especially not government regulators. Certainly not. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not paid off.
Yeah,
I wish I was a government regulator.
we can't have nice things anymore. Dude, I was hungry, so I went with one of the guys. We did a tour and we went to Golden Corral because once in a while I like to just fucking redneck it.
No, you
just
go to
Poor
Golden-
bastard. You poor bastard.
Dude, you go Golden Corral, you're like, this is a trough for pigs, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna go enjoy this trough.
That's where they used to feed the high school football team before games
and you
when I
go
was in high
there
school.
because they'll have everything you want. They'll have some shrimp for you. They'll have that fucking strawberry fucking
What is it? Real
chocolate.
shrimp?
You know?
I haven't eaten there since 2006, and I vomited, and I haven't been back since.
Dude, we went there. They had none of that. None of it. It was the most bottom barrel Golden Corral I ever went to, and I was
Really?
so fucking pissed off. And the reason I bring that up is because nobody's trying anymore. There's no dignity in excellence anymore. No, it's
Not
like
the change,
what is
not the change? You're right.
Well, and
No.
the prices are all up at these fast food places,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
I love, and it's so funny to me because if you really study food, it's like, okay, so the naturally grown stuff is expensive, but the processed shit is fucking cheap as shit.
I mean, did you hear McDonald's was talking about how they're poorer people can't even afford to eat at McDonald's now, which is, I mean, how concerning is that for the economy?
McDonald's in February 26th, it was $297 a share. Today it's $268.50. If it goes to $265 and change, we and the Patreon boys are all over it. We'll be buying.
You like
We'll
that?
be
Huh?
buying that instant meat. Do you know 30 years ago when you bought a Big Mac, they gave you something like 70% more meat than the shitty Big Macs that they make today?
I'm not surprised by that because I heard this week the big news from this past week, because they're trying to kind of cover up this downtrend of, and the way their prices are ballooning, is that they're thinking of a new burger with actually more meat, which will probably just take you back to the old burger, from the 90s and the 80s. But yeah, I mean, that I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, that poor people can't afford McDonald's, because nobody should be eating McDonald's, really, not on a regular basis.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our friend James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Has it pissed you off to watch crypto fly up in prices for over a decade and you've still done nothing about it? It makes sense. It totally makes sense. Crypto is complicated and it's really boring. Well, we're here. Well, here's the good news. Okay. You don't need to know a thing about crypto to make the money so many have. The copymycrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest, as you simply copy along. So let me tell you about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 54,000 subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put $100 into each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said. That one alone has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify for yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/Sam. That's copymycrypto.com/Sam, SAM. You'll not only find the proof of everything I've said, but my viewers get full access for just $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, but there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time. Go to the site and read it. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/Sam. It's ended money worries for so many. It may just do the same for you.
Well, Sam just said it. He made a good point, and he said nobody's even trying. And I agree with him on the corporate level. These large corporations, I don't give a shit if it's Walmart or McDonald's. You go into a Walmart trying to get help or anything. I mean, these big corporations, Sam's right. They've given up. It's the bottom of the barrel. Everything you check out, you do it by yourself. And I think it could be one positive for all of us. I think that if it continues like this may be a huge opportunity for mom and pops to make a run again.
They're all gone though.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to start that shit out of nowhere.
And how are you supposed to be a mom and pop when Walmart now? I seems to me a significant portion of their business is just you drive up and park and they put the shit in the back. Like, have you noticed how the parking spaces dedicated to that have grown over the years? It used to be there'd be like 3 parking spots, where you could pull in and people ordered online. And now there's like 50 parking spots at the Walmart around here for, and they don't even have them in the city because LA won't allow Walmarts. But if you go out far enough, you can get to one. And that's half the parking lots are for online pickup.
Yeah, maybe that's just me wishful thinking, but. Down south, Sam, we used to have a place when I lived in Savannah. It wasn't the Golden Corral, but it was called Shoney's.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Shoney's. I used to get breakfast there. What a shithole.
I'm not making this up. They wanted to throw me out of a Shoney's on a Sunday after a buffet because till this day, I took a shit in the Shoney's and they almost had to shut the whole restaurant down. I'm not making that up. And the manager came over to our table and he said, which one of you, we're going to rat each other out who just took a shit. But he was like, which one of you was just in the bathroom? We were like, what are you talking? He's like, no, one of you came over here. And they literally tried to, and that was the last time I
Howie. Now, they don't try to kick you out just for taking a bad shit. Did you not flush? Did you shit all over the seat?
Yeah, dude. And listen, if you're a grown man and you don't shit and then instantly flush, you should be ran out of society.
I think that's what they tried to do. They tried
well, dude, the fact that you would shit and not instantly flush that down. And by the way, I learned that from a bathroom attendant. One time I crushed the toilet so bad. He's like, did you flush it down? You got to flush it down.
Where were you with a bathroom attendant? I haven't seen one of those in 10 years.
Dude, Biden's America. We've gotten rid of bathroom attendants. Where the fuck are the bathroom attendants? Who's going to ask for $1 for candy and hit me paper towels?
Who the fuck wants candy in the bathroom?
It was one of those mornings where I wasn't seeing so right, and I'm pretty sure I tried to flush my boxers along with everything else down, and it just didn't work out. And
so you were shit faced and you shit all over the place. We're getting a real story now.
That was the situation. It was the next day, but they shut the bathroom down. Like you couldn't go near the bathroom. They put one of those yellow things up.
Like a biohazard.
My boy was like, we went somewhere else. He's like, yo, Dewey just shut down the whole bathroom at Shoney's. That's the last time I ever went in there. It was
because you're banned. You're not allowed to come back. That's why it was the last time you ever went in.
I was in my 20s, man.
Shoney's had some great breakfast. That's what I remember.
Grits. Big plates, big things of grits.
I would get pancakes and bacon. Yeah, I love grits too. That's
Speaking
it. Boy,
grits,
nobody knows what grits are out here, man. Nobody.
I didn't know what they were before we moved down south. I ate them all the time. I liked them on my eggs, everything.
Yeah, I grew up on grits.
What are grits?
It's the whitest white cracker food you could possibly imagine. It's kind of like ground up. I think is it made out of corn or something? What are
inside of corn? I was told.
Let's see. Grits, are from the less sweet, starchy varieties, often referred to as dent corn. Grits can be made either yellow or white, and you put they have no flavor on their own, really. You just put a shit ton of butter on there, and they're delicious.
Yellow, there's cheese in it, but the only thing I can tell you, basically...
that's cheesy grits. That's a whole different situation, but just regular grits.
Regular grits, it looks like just a huge load of baby batter. It's just, oof. It's a rough texture.
If that's what your jizz looks like, Howie, you got problems, bro.
Yeah,
Like
you
for
know,
real.
dude. Howie's jizz is its spokesman is Donovan McNabb for Chunky Soup. That's fucking his spokesman for this.
Fucking
I want to get
Donovan
that looked at.
McNabb.
Oh,
Oh God, man.
You remember
Did
those
you
back in the day? Him
Oh,
and his
yeah.
mom eating Chunky Soup.
Donovan, did you eat your chunky soup?
Yo, I saw
I
him in a
remember that.
restaurant in New York City. That is a big motherfucker for a cute. He's big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, how
and
about him
he was as
throwing
fragile
up in
as
the
they
Super
get. Now.
Bowl? Yeah, I mean, dude,
Fall
he,
apart.
he was the last time Syracuse football was great. Was Donovan McNabb? After that,
I was-
he just fell
I
off.
was at the Miami game in the Big East Championship around the 50. Why? And he was a man against boys, man. Just a one-man wrecking crew. He guy went to the Super Bowl with receivers like me and you, Sam. Like they had nothing.
Yeah. What was it like? Pinkston and
The receivers
oh
were so
god,
bad.
there were some terrible teams. Did you see that? You know, we used to talk about Peloton a lot. Now they've just kind of circled the drain. It sounds like private equity or swarming Peloton, thinking about picking the bones, maybe cutting back, buying it out, cutting, just stripping it down. What do you think about that, Howie? Is that
That stuff has
I
gone
mean,
from like $2.50 to $4 in
isn't that
3
crazy?
years.
Oh,
And I am so glad I never bought it. That's one I just never jumped on. People liked it. I have guys like, hey, should we buy Peloton? I'm like, I don't know. I don't. But yeah, it looks like a private firm will buy them, take them private again, start over. Um, it's at $4 a share. I have no faith in that company. None.
what
None.
do you think that they were just mismanaged, or is it totally just the benefit of the pandemic and they kind of got blown up on that?
Both. Both. I think the management's horrible. I think they probably produced way too much during the pandemic. As soon as the pandemic finished, I mean, people went back to gyms. You know, you can say what you want. I mean, I have friends that have home gyms or stationary bikes, but at the end, as human beings, like you like to go to the gym. I like to go to the gym and sit on a bench press and do some dumbbells and check out some hot ass. It's like what I like to do. I just
Do we
like
like
to
to
do
go to the gym and hang out with all the homeless people who are just there for the showers like that?
I love
that
the
might be an
gym,
LA
dude.
problem.
I love.
Yeah, you
the
can't.
gym.
Homeless people.
Johnny, where are you working out? At the public
Yeah, what the
library? What are you
fuck?
talking
No,
about?
what do you mean? What do you mean? That's dude. That if you go at the right time, which I like to go at night because I'd like to be
gym?
left alone. What
What gym?
LA Fitness? I used to have an LA Fitness membership.
Oh.
I mean, LA Fitness sucks,
Yeah.
but it was like right down the street from where I used to live, so I walked there. And if you go there at night, dude, it's just homeless people who get like these cheap memberships, and they go there to take showers. A lot of those people who like lives in vans and stuff. It's like a van hack or whatever. Van life hack is that you just get a gym membership and go in there and shower, shit and
Cheap.
shower.
My girl pays her gym membership and she has a corporate discount. She pays $240 a month.
Oh
That's
no,
at
it's way LA Fitness way less than that.
That's at Chelsea Piers, and you got security that you
Chelsea
can't get
Piers.
in there. In my gym, which is like a cheap gym, but there's a lot of famous people in there. My gym is everything you need, but it's still fucking $110 a month.
LA Fitness $34.99 a month.
Well, there you go. That's
it.
That's crazy for LA. That's crazy.
Well, I'm sure the ones around here are a little more, but that's like the across their whole
I like
market.
to go to the gym, man. It's, walk around, kind of laugh at people sometimes. The guy that runs it's a cool dude. We make fun of everybody. Yeah, it's a good time. I love it.
TikTok is suing the government, the U.S. government, saying the ban would violate the First Amendment. I'm not sure. I'm not sure
TikTok
how this
is suing the government.
Yeah, TikTok is suing the U.S. government.
I hope
in an
they
effort
win.
To stop
I hope they win.
enforcement
They have a
of a bill
chance.
passed last month.
They have a chance of winning.
Yes, because I mean, has something like this ever happened before? This is just so unprecedented that I think they could win. Yeah.
So the government.
I think they should. I mean, it's just what basically is going on is that they don't want to get rid of TikTok. They just want to give the fucking lizards control so they can implement censorship and they can get people to stop talking about Palestine. That's literally the whole point. I mean, it is insane to me how like obvious this bullshit is. It's like mind blowing to me.
So you don't think China getting information off of TikTok is a real thing, Sam?
No, I have zero problems with people saying that. But guess who else is doing that, Howie? Your government. And when was the
I
last time
agree.
you were in
No, I'm
fucking
not
China?
disagreeing with you. I think it's bullshit. I sit back and I'm like, okay, you're worried about China getting it. What
Yeah.
the fuck are they getting off of TikTok? That's my question.
Yeah. What are they getting off of Facebook? What are they getting off of
Yeah,
YouTube?
I
I
agree with
mean,
you.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, no, I mean,
they're, it's so funny. It's like, you remember when they were like, oh yeah, by the way, they're worried about China, okay, coming after your data when literally there's a story about YouTube and Google giving all the intelligence agency your data. And the whole story was if you watch this one video, YouTube would tell the FBI, but they never tell you the video, right? Which means that it's
Do you
not
believe
real
that? Yeah.
No, I don't.
No.
They're
Yeah.
just trying to scare you. Like, okay, I'm only going to watch Mr. Beast videos from now on, so that the government doesn't follow. It's like so obvious that how retarded this whole thing is.
yeah, and
Yeah.
if you don't think China, let's say, okay, no, China will hack into your TikTok and they'll figure out everything. You don't think China has the ability to hack into my Facebook or my Instagram or my bank account if they wanted to? They definitely got guys that could do that.
Well, dude, and everything that comes out of that country too is just sending data back to
Yes.
China. If you look at it, like I remember there were these security cameras they came onto the market. They were called like Wise Cam, and they were like a cheaper alternative to like Ring cameras and stuff like that. And they just found out there was just a little data stream going upstream from people's houses, and it was just going right back to the Chinese government. And everything that comes out of that government has a back door for them. Here's the quote from TikTok. I like how they talk about TikTok like it's a person. It says TikTok wrote in a lawsuit, for the first time in history, Congress has enacted a law that subjects a single named speech platform. That's what they call themselves. That's the lawyers created that phrase, a speech platform, to a permanent nationwide ban and bars every American from participating in a unique online community with more than 1 billion people worldwide. Sounds like a winner.
You know what changed my mind on this whole thing is they did a poll. And I want to say it was like 1,000 people basically took the poll. And 70%, or it might have been 72%, basically came out and said, no, man, we don't want you to ban TikTok. Stay the fuck out of this government.
Look at this picture.
Only 30% were on the government side. So that's
Look at this picture. They clearly know how to play politics in America. Check out this picture that they have people out front of the Capitol.
TikTok changed my life for the better, dude.
Look at this.
This is so fucking idiocracy right there. TikTok make me happy. Me love TikTok.
Look at the chick in the middle. She's like, I watch TikTok. It put me on a new diet. I feel so much healthier.
Oh,
I mean, how about the weird Vulcan chick in the corner here?
She's got an elf ears. You're
elf
right.
ears and a mullet. Like what? Like is that even a chick? Who knows, bro? And listen, TikTok going viral is going to be the fall of society. Like going viral, the whole point of viral is that like break social contract norms. And it's going to destroy society.
Explain that. I'm interested.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if you're watching all this shit, but there's like all these guys, like, there's this video right now of a guy in public just making out with his computer. He's just like mouthing it right. And you're
So
just
how do
like,
you do that? Because I'm so fucking confused.
Like he's just like you know how you have now modern computers have the mouse pad right there on the computer, and he's just like. He's like making out, and I'm sure
like a head case, or he's doing it for attention.
I'll show you. Let me show you a video. Let me send it.
Hold on.
Or
Okay.
did he upgrade from licking glass to his computer? Like this is so confusing.
It's actually purely retarded. Hold on. Let me see.
I'll send you this,
Johnny, and listen, this isn't the only example, or maybe even the best example, but it's just, this is the whole thing. Is like act retarded in public. Someone films it, you put it out, and then everyone's like, isn't that crazy?
Right.
And that's just going to be the downfall. And that's where
well, you know what? I see what you're saying. You're saying it's basically going to crush all our social norms that we worked 200 years to get.
This is gross.
Right?
I'm trying to share it. Hold on a second.
It's just that's the downfall. Like, look at this, John. Look at this. And he's doing this and it's just like, yeah. And they're like, he just
Yeah,
wants.
that kid's got orange hair. That kid's a little.
Yeah, exactly. But this is it. It's like hoping someone films him or his buddy films it. He puts it out and he just goes viral. And this is like there's money in being retarded. There's money in being retarded.
No, I agree. It's the whole.
So
yeah, the
in
country's
that
screwed.
aspect, TikTok just beat Instagram, just beat, and like to me, it's going to come down to TikTok and Twitter. I think Twitter is going to see a huge surge. I just really do. I just think
Twitter. Well, think about Twitter gave up Vine, which was TikTok. They just punted it.
He's thinking about bringing it back.
Yeah, that's what we heard last year, right? But they punted that. That whole, and it was doing fine, and they were just like, nope, we're closing it down. And then I don't know if that's part of some, the government plan to like launch TikTok, or maybe they shut it down because they realized that it was kind of getting away from them, and then it popped up in China because China was like, fuck it, we'll do it. But they really fucked that up. Can you imagine if
like,
TikTok was
crazy.
Jack Dorsey would still be there if that was the case.
Yeah, like, dude, you see Jack Dorsey quit his he was starting a new liberal social media.
Oh, really?
And he quit it. It's like Blue Sky or something like that. And he quit it because he's like TikTok. Twitter just is doing it. Twitter.
Yeah, it says Jack Dorsey quits Blue Sky and urges users to stay on Elon Musk's X.
Everybody's just like kind of just pushing it into.
Jack Dorsey, a weird guy.
Yeah, really weird. Really weird.
Speaking of Elon, holy shit, Tesla. That's another one I forgot to say. We banked the shit out of Tesla. We crushed those calls.
I missed it. I got to get up earlier. Yeah,
it's up to 179. Yeah, we really smacked it. Some guys I made like 70%. Some other dudes sold 2 days later, made like 180% on their buys, on their calls. It's at 179. Had a big jump up. I think it's going back to 150, 155, which is still good, but I just think it'll create an opportunity. Elon went over to China. I don't know if he blew the premier, but they hugged and they became best buddies. And he patted Elon on the head and said, "We'd love to have you here." So the stock shot up like 20 points. And it's like I told the guys on the Patreon, they said, what'll get the stock to jump? I said, you know what it's going to be. When Elon comes out and says some BS, he manipulates. He's been doing it for years. So that's something we'll jump back on if it drops more. But other than that, what was the other one I was going to say here? Oh, you know what we did, Sam?
Yeah.
We went in yesterday, and we hadn't done this, but I bought puts. Everybody listening, a call is when you hope that
puts. Come on now.
Call up, put down. Put is when you hope the stock shits the bed. And we bought puts on, holy shit, look at this. I didn't even see this. We bought puts on Carvana. It was like 121, 122, maybe 123. It's down 3% today at 119. I just looked at it and I saw the stock is losing $4.18 a share. And the stock in a couple days went from 85 all the way up to 127. So I said, you know what? I think this thing's going to drop. Morgan Stanley yesterday put out an article saying they think the stock's going to drop to 40%. So it was just good timing. I think we're going to make money on the puts. That just goes to show you don't have to love a company or a stock. When I buy a call on Pfizer, am I buying part of Pfizer? No, I'm not owning anything in Pfizer. I'm buying a contract saying that Pfizer is going to go up this amount in this many days, but I don't own the company. I got nothing to do with it. Same thing as Carvana. I just think the stock's going to take a shit, and hopefully it continues to, so we can bank fatties. It's all about banking fatties. That's all that matters. That's all we care about.
Banking fatties. Hey guys, real quick, do you guys see Bumble has changed their policies now?
Yes, that tweeted at me.
That men no longer women don't have to make the first move, because women were complaining that it's really hard to make the first move. I mean, unbelievable, right? And just like, it's so hilarious, dude. We're like, we just want to empower women. And then we give them all this power and they're like, wow, it's hard, right? It just,
Well, dude, I
hard.
remember if you were in the apps too, like Tinder and stuff, and all the women would be like, yeah, I'm not going to message you first. So you got to message me. Like that was the most common thing you would see.
Yeah. It's so hilarious.
Take the initiative. Slap me in the forehead with your schlong, and maybe we'll go from there. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Bumble.
Bumble.
I'll tell you what's interesting. I don't know if you read this, Johnny, but
I haven't.
I've owned natural gas now for probably a year.
Yeah, we heard about your natural gas in the bathroom.
Yeah. And natural gas has taken a nice shit. It was down to 14.18 last week, and I'm contemplating taking it as a loss. But then somebody came out with an article, and they said AI is actually going to help natural gas pump. So it's up to 16.16 right now, and shit, I'm thinking this thing's going to bump up above 20, and we might get a little run in natural gas. So I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to hold on to UNG.
I like that.
Right on.
I think that's great. Congratulations. Congrats. I love that. That's hot. That's hot shit.
Apple had an event today. A few new iPads and stuff. They just keep trucking along. Nothing too exciting. They're really in this mode now where they're just iterating on what they've already done. And it works for Apple. So,
Johnny, what do you think would be the next thing that they could do? I mean, like it's got to be it's got to be like virtual reality, right?
Well, they already released their virtual reality thing, but yeah, a cheaper version of that. Sure, I think that's years away for them though, because they spent so long on this first. I mean, their policy, and we've said it before, is that they want people to desire virtual reality before they can afford it, and that's why the thing costs $3,500. But yeah, I think that'll come down market in a couple of years. Once they've streamlined production and gotten enough volume in the production chain to make it cheaper. Yeah, eventually. But I mean, the form factors, that thing is just, I bought it, just try it out and return it. It so uncomfortable. It's the most uncomfortable VR headset I've ever tried on. I mean, just, I couldn't wear it for more than a half an hour. And for something you're supposed to watch movies inside of and spend extended periods inside of, that's a problem. But yeah, they want it to be glasses eventually. And it will be. It's going to be a while, but it will be.
How's the new not laptop that came out, but the new iPad?
Yeah, I mean they just put the new chip in it, the M4. So it's going to be blazing fast. But again, it's just iterations now. There's nothing new under the sun for Apple since Jobs was gone. Really, I mean, it's like what I feel like we have everything we're going to have for a while. You know what I mean? They gave up on the car. We didn't talk about that, but they shut down the whole car program a couple of months ago, which was there's some of the funniest stories about Apple developing a car. Like Johnny Ive, when he was still with the company, Tim Cook was like, all right, show us what you think about a car. And they had the driver's seat facing in, because they thought it would be a driverless car. You weren't even facing out. You were facing in. There was no steering wheel, just a slick, borderless screen that went in the front of the vehicle. And I don't think American traffic safety laws ever caught up with that. You can't even have, you have to have, like over in Europe, they have a lot of cool looking cars that have, instead of side view mirrors, just cameras there, so it's perfectly streamlined. But all those models have to either end up not coming to America, or they have to get stuck on these big ugly mirrors that don't match the body because of that law or whatever rule that is. So yeah, I just don't. It's gonna be a while for that. I do have a code to use Waymo here in town though, the driverless car, for a little while. You think I should try it out? Yeah, I kind of want to try it out. I'm not gonna do too far of a trip though. I'm not gonna like the freeway or something. But
you need to go just buy a whole football uniform and just wear shoulder pads, a helmet, and just be like, let's go.
See, I haven't seen many without a driver. They all seem to have a driver, so I think they just don't trust it yet. But have you seen these things around, Sam? With just got these guys got these like almost like sonar things all around the
Yeah.
car. It's like a Jag
Yeah.
SUV.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I see them all the time. They're everywhere.
Just weird, dude. Just we live in weird fucking times.
Well, gold and silver is taking a little bit of it. I'll tell you what, gold and silver is taking a little bit of a drop back. Still strong though. I mean, silver, nice little run. 20 to 26, drop back to 25. I want to get Sam, let's get your boy on the show again, the Wolf.
Yeah.
Who? Wise Wolf, gold and silver? Yeah.
Yes.
Sam Tripoli.
Let's
Tripoli.
fucking go.
Let's get him on because he's it's a good time to get him on because gold and silver's had a good solid 2-year run.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, I got into a couple of miners, silver miners, a couple of weeks ago, and it's been nice. I watched this documentary that you guys have to watch about modern monetary policy. This philosophy that the government can just print money forever and ever, and it doesn't matter because actually government debt is just private sector. When the government's in the red, the private sector's in the black. Basically, is what they're saying. So we should just look at it as the private sector being like it's just mind blowing. The premise is that they can just print infinite money and it doesn't really matter.
So ridiculous, dude.
And it's a growing movement, like in colleges and stuff. And let me see what the modern monetary theory. What's the name of the? What's the name of the documentary?
We had Adam Mueller. He went to MIT on here, and he kind of said the same thing.
It's called Finding the Money, and that's based on this phrase. We hear like, yeah, the government's going to do this program. They just got to find the money. And their premise is that finding the money actually doesn't matter. All that matters is finding the resources to get it done. Because the government, they say that a government as long as the government is the issuer of the currency, they will never go bankrupt. There's nothing that can happen. And in fact, they say that when you pay your taxes, the government just burns the tax money, essentially, just to take it out of circulation, was their whole premise. And they say that that's been done since the beginning of taxes. You would pay your taxes, and then the government would just burn the notes. Like they're that meaningless to the. They do that just to keep inflation down. They say that the real problem is just battling inflation, not the deficit. The deficit is meaningless, according to them.
Well, yeah, because it's made up shit.
And the debt.
You know what? All that tells me is that while your heart is beating on this earth, you need to bank as many fatties as you can. That's what that tells me. I mean, it's always going to be us against them, always. But you know what makes me feel better? You got some stock, you got some real estate, you got a little bit of life insurance, you got cash, you got a little silver and gold. You got all that. You know what? They can do whatever the fuck they want.
If you're interested in that at all, though, as a listener, kind of what people are thinking about, what the cutting edge stuff is, and you have people like Paul Krugman and stuff, these more traditional guys, like this is bananas. Even Warren Buffett's like, this makes no sense. This is voodoo economics all over again. But this is a significant and growing movement, and it seems to be in academia, especially, really catching on. There's some people in government now who are of the belief that this is kind of how fiat currency is going to work from now on. So it's scary. It scares me.
Well, you ever hear the theory that one of the things that they're doing is trying to devalue the dollar so much that their debt to China means nothing?
Yeah, well, they're not doing a good job of it right now.
Yeah, I have a tough time believing that one. Our fucking dollar is too strong right now. It needs to come down some. I mean,
I don't know how again, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, what is going on here? How is the dollar so strong? But
it's the only currency that is right now, though.
It's the only currency in the world.
Something. How is that possible? How like everyone knows what inflation really is, right? That means your dollar's worth less than it was X number of times. So let's say something costs $1,000. Let's say the price of something is $1,000, right? Because your dollar's worth less, it takes more dollars to buy that $1,000 worth of something, right? So you're telling me the dollar's the strongest it's ever been, but yeah, its value is dog shit. Like, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying explain that to me so I can
The
understand.
value, what are you comparing it to? You're saying the value is dog compared to what?
Other currencies, though, it's strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
so everybody's dog shit.
Well,
my
they're
girl's
worse.
going to
Yeah,
Spain. She's going to Spain tomorrow, and I mean, Jesus Christ.
Japan.
I mean, yeah, you can like the dollar's like twice as much. You can buy. I mean, I told her, I said, you need to buy some shit over there because holy, something $500 is really $250. It's on sale.
This is
with
from
your
JP Morgan. Sam, I don't think this will clear anything up. Despite uncertain macro conditions, macro being the larger picture, the dollar has continued to demonstrate strength, largely thanks to sticky inflation, a resilient U.S. economy, and year-to-date highs in yields. Indeed, in a display of U.S. exceptionalism, the greenback has gained against just about every other major currency in 2024.
Oh,
So it's a relative thing. It's against other currencies.
and a lot of it has to do with the fact that, you can say what you want, but the Fed got on the inflation shit. They did raise rates quickly and often.
Yeah, and Japan did not, right?
And
That's
Japan didn't, and all these other countries didn't, and they're fucked. They're screwed. I mean, the yen is worth nothing. But with that being said, you know how we always talk about buy on bad news, sell on good news? If you're ever going to buy something, right? If you're like, Howie, what's good foreign? What should I buy foreign? EWJ, that's the iShares. It's an ETF. Basically, you're buying Japan. You're buying Japan. And that thing ran from 53 up to where did it hit this year? 72. And right now, it's back to 68.90. I'll tell you what, if EWJ drops back down to 66, I'll probably buy a little of that in the year portfolio because, it'll take Japan to get they're starting to rate hikes. Once they get their shit together, I mean, that's one of the few countries that will probably continue to do well.
All right. So let's get into your pick and then we're going to go to the Patreon.
All right, real quick. I'm going to give you a solid pick here. I do like it's at 104, and I think you got to start picking up Disney right now. It's dropped from 120 over the past few days. I think, if you're listening, Disney is a stock you just want to have in your portfolio over the next year. I think it'll do really well. If you want to join the Patreon, I have two bangers that I'm about to list over there, and right on the Patreon, two solid ones that we're going to probably buy today. So, Disney solid.
All right, man. Damn, going big game hunting with Disney. Everyone else is Disney's dying. Howie's Dewey's like, buy, 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 buy. All right, guys. If you want to see me live this weekend, I'm in Bellflower. Okay. And then I'm going to be in La Jolla. Things are great. I love you all very much. And where you're going to be, go to samtripoli.com for all my dates.
I'm in Brooklyn this weekend performing at the brand new Williamsburg Comedy Club. I have no idea. I can't wait to see this place.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Let's head on to the Patreon, baby.